Marcellus, get us rolling.
Yes.
Does Roger Goodell have no choice but to suspend Bill Belichick?
Oh, Roger Goodell has a choice, and it's to not suspend Bill Belichick. I disagree with you, Jason Whitlock. You stood on the platform of integrity. And in this situation, if we're going to look through the lens of integrity, then you have to absolve Bill Belichick of guilt. One, you even stated it. Even if Bill Belichick is uninvolved in this and won't get the positive consequences of them taping the sideline, that phrase right there will give me reasonable doubt that Bill Belichick deserves to be the poster child of this situation. Part two, you said it doesn't matter what's on the tape. Okay, if it doesn't matter what's on the tape, then how is that going to benefit Bill Belichick, who didn't direct these services to film the sidelines? And part three, just by the framing and terming of this as Spygate 2.0, I would like to introduce into evidence my platform. You are trying to convict him on double jeopardy. You are trying to get this guy convicted of the same crime by trying him twice.
You got OJ.
Hey,
I'm for that.
Well, OJ was different. OJ went to go get his own stuff.
You're not being charged for the same crime, the same thing. It's something different.
What?
Same thing, but something different.
This is not
Which is
you know
the same
why?
thing as OJ. But go ahead. But go ahead.
This is the situation. No one knows what was on the first Spygate tapes. I dare you. Say something, anybody. No. You know why? Because they burned them things. So don't put that all on Belichick, even though he took his suspension, his fines, and his penalties. Now, in this situation, we're saying because they weren't severe enough to deter this franchise from doing something, let's go get him as the face of the franchise once again. I say not guilty.
I'm surprised you didn't use the Scarface or Godfather deal in your Whitlock for the first one, because it would have been relevant to this situation. If you're looking at how things are structured, I call it living through layers of protection. I think you do have to do some type of correctional deal with Belichick and with Belichick directly, and not just being a fine, which can be assumed to be a slap on the hand. If you do suspend for however many games, you're piercing the layers of protection. And I think that it sends a message. We have to change what our mousetrap is, because now they got the boss. So if you're in a situation where, you know what, I'm going to have my street soldiers do what they're going to do, and if they get in trouble, you better not tell on us, right? You go down, you take the consequences, you go where it's supposed to be. So you could sit there and say, all right, you know, at first I'm sitting there like, you got to take action against the production company head, whoever was in charge. But then I started thinking to myself, even if you can deny saying I had nothing to do with it, we did nothing about it, or there's nothing for us here, like handle that with Robert Kraft. You are living within the layers of protection. And I think for as many times as it's happened with the New England Patriots, I think you do make a statement if you suspend Belichick.
You have to make a statement. Like, number one, prior history. Number one, what you think Bill gonna say? Oh, yeah, we was taping a sideline. Of course he's going to say I had no involvement. Listen, they're going to beat Cincinnati regardless. But this is what people aren't taking into account. The Cincinnati Bengals head coach is Zach Taylor, first-year head coach. They don't have a vault, a library, a catalog of his signals and signs. He hasn't been caught. He probably did the same thing to Sean McDermott. He doesn't have to do it anymore. He hasn't been caught because they don't play any new first-year head coaches. Brian Flores, he comes from the Patriots. I already know what he does.
They can't change their signals. They can do new signals.
We've all been on the team.
Right.
Are there 11 guys on the team smart enough when you change the signals where they won't mess it up? You know there's going to be 3 or 4 that don't get it. So you're going to keep the signals the same.
Right.
So they don't have a library and a catalog on him. Something has to be done. Oh, I had no involvement. If you had no involvement for the first quarter, it's been reported, first 7 or 8 minutes, the camera's on the Bengals sideline. Why? You tell me, what does that have to do with the Do Your Job series that goes on.com?
Oh, you looking at me?
No, I'm just
okay,
it's a rhetorical question.
Because I'm not filming the sideline, even my son over there.
I'm saying, Belichick knows he's supposed to say, no, I had no involvement in this. And Roger Goodell was very, very reactionary when it comes to players and their discipline. You need to be very reactionary when it comes to this so you can endear yourself to the players. You can't let this slide.
Look, there's a culture in New England, because there's one organization that has Deflategate, Spygate, and now a second Spygate. There's just one organization. And there's a culture there of pushing the envelope. Again, the NFL had a problem with bounties, player safety, and they wanted to go after the Saints and Sean Payton and Greg Williams to hold up as a sign to everybody else in the league. They got scapegoated.
They did.
Belichick must be punished harshly. I like him. I respect him. First ballot Hall of Famer, greatest coach of all time. Wish he coached the Chiefs. He's got to go. Sean Payton, great coach in the aftermath of Bountygate. Love him. Hope the Cowboys sign him or whatever. Great coach. But sometimes you have to go after these top dogs to undermine a culture that is clearly there in New England of pushing the envelope. And I don't care if Robert Kraft cries until the cows come home. Belichick has to be punished.
Well, I don't think these are analogous situations when you talk about the culture of New England and the gates. And then the culture of New Orleans isn't Bountygate. They just are the ones that got caught with that situation. And they got exposed, and the penalties were heightened because of the backdrop. You got to know the circumstances. The circumstances, player safety, health initiatives, billion-dollar lawsuits going down the pipeline for medical and concussion. Yeah. So, therefore, the NFL was incentivized to actually step out and even egregiously apply penalty. Please, anybody tell me where the NFL's integrity, other than in words, is being compromised to the tune of billions of dollars being exposed, and that they have to go now and give a harsh penalty to the Patriots.
I'll take a stab at that. The integrity is at stake when you're talking about the most successful team has these things continuing to come up. I would say that would be my way of looking at it. And if I'm Roger Goodell and I'm the NFL, and I'm saying to myself, okay, we all know that every team is trying to get a competitive edge. There may be, we're talking about them being egregious by going into a place where they're being monitored. But be clear, you probably have guys that are in the stands that are filming the sideline and getting those signals just as much as somebody is getting it from a press box. So people are trying to get competitive edges. But when you're talking about the integrity of what this game represents, and moving forward, this is even bigger than Bill Belichick, because now if Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots can continue to get away or slide by or not be connected to it, disconnect from it, then now you're starting a trend. And once you start having other people try to copycat and mimic what you're doing, I think it leaves room for creating a narrative that could certainly compromise money, could certainly compromise the integrity of how things are being operated.
Hey, look, the integrity, TJ's point about player integrity and credibility with players, because players are certainly, Vontaze Burfict is at home right now because he was part of a culture that couldn't follow the rules as it relates to helmet hits. He's sitting at home for the entire year. Antonio Brown is sitting at home right now, unconvicted of any crimes. And so for the integrity of the players and for respect with the players, let alone the fans who spend every Sunday and every Monday talking about officiating and hey, what's really going on here? Why is this being overturned and this isn't? Belichick, I'm sorry. It's time for you to come and pay your penance and be the face of Roger Goodell taking a shot here at restoring some of the credibility of the NFL.
Even if he didn't do it, though.
Yes.
They've used up all their mulligans. You cannot keep doing. I don't care if you knew. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You're in charge. Everybody else under you has to fall in line. And if you have to fall on the sword because they messed up, that's just what it is. You can't keep saying, oh, I didn't know. You did know, and
you did know.
It's okay.
That's not admissible in court. You did know.
Everybody in the league is trying to get an advantage.
Okay.
Like Houston Astros in Major League Baseball. They got caught recording signs.
Yeah, they did. Electronic.
You're a good team regardless. You're probably going to make the World Series regardless.
Okay.
But you feel a lot better when you know what's coming.
I have two things to retort. One, psychologists would tell you that rules don't deter behavior. The consequences do. No,
Exactly.
Wait. Oh, I knew y'all was gonna walk. Y'all walk right into it.
Okay, I got
Why
it.
y'all walk right into it? This is how Johnny Cochran got him off. Telling you, y'all celebrating right now. But guess what? What have been the consequences of the New England Patriots bending the rules in terms of integrity? I will give you examples. We have named not one, but 2 GOATs in New England while they've went through a tuck rule, which took 30 minutes on the field, Spygate 1, Deflategate, and now Spygate 2.0, and we have now anointed 2 GOATs. My point is...
If I can get those consequences,
Hold on.
consequences are I'm the GOAT, I'm going to keep doing it.
But you got to look at it from the NFL's perspective. The public speaks the loudest, and the public has anointed them as GOATs. So what consequences of integrity have occurred if the public, knowing what LaVar said, they probably cheating, and still says, despite them cheating, we have now anointed 2 GOATs. Why would you now in the NFL want to put a heheavy penalty on something that hasn't been
Because
negative?
the benefit of the doubt is now gone.
Is it?
Yes.
It
Not
should
for me.
be.
Not for me on this one.
This is the look. I'm always going to respect this dude because I think what he has done is unique, and I think what he's done has been incredible. But in terms, does this dude push the envelope? Has he created a culture where, hey, Aaron Hernandez, you want to come play for us? And yeah, we heard some rumors about you off the field. AB. Yeah, we just saw you put a clown suit on John Gruden and Mike Mayock. We know, we read the Undefeated story. You're a very questionable character. Come play for us. This has to stop.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.